You are standing in front of your variable frequency drive panel. Everything looks fine, and then suddenly trip, overcurrent fault. The measure stops, the process shut down, and your maintenance team is scrambling. Okay? If this series sounds familiar, you are not alone. Overcurrent trip in VFD system are one of the most frustrating and most misunderstood problem in industrial electrical engineering. Okay? In today's video, I am going with you through 5 real reasons why your motor is tripping on overcurrent inside a VFD. Okay? Not the VFD textbook reason, the real ones that happen on the job. Okay? And more importantly, I will show you exact what to do to fix each one. Okay? Before we dive in, if you are new here, make sure you hit that subscribe button and ring the bell icon. We post new content every week on VFD, motor, PLC and industrial automation. Okay, now let's get into it. So first point is VFD and overcurrent basics. Okay, so first of all, what is the VFD? Let's quickly set the stage for anyone who is new. Okay, a variable frequency drive or VFD is a power electronics device that controls the speed and torque of an AC motor by varying the frequency and voltage supply to it. Okay, inside the VFD, the incoming AC power goes through a rectifier, gets converted to DC, then gets converted back to AC at a variable frequency through the inverter stage. Okay, these stages give us incredibly precise motor control. And second point, what is an overcurrent trip? Okay, every VFD has built-in protection. One of the most critical is the overcurrent protection. When the current flowing to the motor exceeds a present threshold, usually 150% to 200% of the motor rated current. Okay, the VFD will trip to protect itself and the motor. Now here where the most people get confused, they assume the problem is the VFD. Okay, but the VFD is often just a messenger. It's detecting a real problem somewhere in the system. Okay, two types of overcurrent fault. There are two main categories. Number one, steady state overcurrent, where the current consistently to high during normal operation. Number two, transient overcurrent, where there sudden spike during startup, acceleration or load changes. Okay, understand which type you are dealing with. This step one by one diagnosis. Now let's look the 5 real reason this happen. Okay, reason first, mechanical overload. The number one most common reason for overcurrent trip, the motor is simply being asked to do more work than it was designed for. This is mechanical overload. Okay, I am again saying that one of number most common reason for overcurrent trip, the motor is simply being asked to do more work than was designed it for. Okay, this is mechanical overload. Think about this is way if you are driving car unfilled with extra 5 passengers, your engine works hard. Okay, the same thing happen with a motor. When the mechanical load on the shaft increase, the motor draws more current to try to maintain speed. In VFD application, this is especially tricky because the VFD is constantly trying to maintain the set frequency even the load increase dramatically. Okay, the real world scenarios. Here are the real world scenarios I have been on the field. A pump motor tripping because its calibration or block impeller increasing the hydraulic resistance. A conveyor motor tripping because product is jamming or belt tension is too high. Okay, A compression motor tripping because discharge pressure has increased and the system has not been re-engineered. Okay, and mixer motor tripping because the material velocity changes, common in food processing and chemical plant. Okay, so how to diagnose mechanical overload? Step 1, check the VFD current readout during operation. Is the running current consistently above the major motor nameplate full load ampere? Okay, FLA full load amps. Okay. Step 2, physically inspect the driving load. Is there visible jamming, binding or unusual resistance? Okay. Try turning the shaft by hand. When de-energized, it should turn freely. Okay. Step number 3, review the load trend. Did the strip start after process change, a new product batch or mechanical modification? Okay. Solution: mechanical overload. Fix the root cause of the overload. This seems obvious but often gets keep clean blockage. Adjust belt tension, repair one the bearings or re-engineer the process to match the motor rating. If the load genuinely requires the more power, you may need to upsize the motor. As a rule of thumb, when upsizing, also evaluate the VFD rating. The drive must match or exceed the motor's full load current. Alternative, enable the VFD stall prevention or current limit function. This allows the drive automatically reduce frequency to prevent a trip when load is too high at the cost of speed but without hard shutdown. Okay, next point, motor parameter mismatch. Reason number 2 is one of the most overlooked cause, and I have personally seen it cause months of troubleshooting in factories. Motor parameter mismatch inside the VFD. When you install a VFD and program it, you have to enter motor's rated parameter, rated voltage, rated current, rated frequency and rated speed. Okay, and rated power factor also. If any these are entered incorrectly, the VFD internal model is wrong. Okay, VFD's internal motor model is wrong. Most modern VFD use what's called a motor model or vector control algorithm that continuously calculate expected versus actual current. If the parameters are off, drive may think the motor is drawing too much current even when it is perfectly normal. Here some most common mistake I have seen: entering HP instead of kilowatt or vice versa for rated power. Okay, entering wrong base frequency 50 Hz versus 60 Hz, critical if you are commissioning drives from different religions. Okay, entering no load current instead of full load current. And next, motor replace after a drive failure. New motor has different specs about parameters when never updated. Copy paste error when configuring multiple identical looking drives and actually control different motor size. Okay, and the next, auto tune of function. Here's powerful tool that most people introduce, the VFD auto tune or motor ID function. Almost every modern VFD like Siemens, ABB, Allen Bradley, Schneider, Yaskawa, Danfoss has these features. When you run auto tune, the VFD applies the test signals to the motor at 0 speed or low speed and automatically measures the motor's actual resistance, inductance and other parameters. It then stores these values internally. Okay, this gives you a much more accurate motor model than manually entering nameplate data, especially for older non-standard motors. Next, parameter mismatch. Step 1, pull the motor nameplate and compare every parameter to what entered in VFD. I am again saying that pull the motor nameplate and compare every parameter to what entered in the VFD. Don't assume, verify first. Okay. Step 2, run the VFD auto tune function. Consult your specific drives manual for procure. Okay. Typically you set motor parameter first, then select stationary auto tune or rotating auto tune depending on whether on load can be disconnected. Step number 3, after auto tune, test the drive at 10%, 50% or 100% load and monitor the current readout. Okay, it should match expected value based on the load. Okay. Next point, acceleration, deceleration, ramp to fast. Reason 3, and this is the big one of for new VFD installation, is acceleration or deceleration ramp time is set to short. Here is the physics. When the motor needs to go from 0 to full speed, it has to accelerate or rotating mass, the rotor, the shaft, and whatever is connected to it. This requires extra current called accelerate current above beyond what's needed to just run the load. If you program the VFD to ramp up in 1 second, when the system actually needs 10 seconds to properly accelerate, the current surge during that ramp will be massive, easily 2x or 3x normal running current, and the VFD trip. The same applies to deceleration. If the deceleration ramp too fast and there is no braking resistor, the motor acts like a generator, okay, trying to push energy back into the DC bus. This can cause both overcurrent and DC bus overvoltage fault. Okay. High interior load. Next point. High interior loads are the worst of turn. Example: large fan, centrifugals, live wheels, large conveyor belts with heavy products. This load store at lots of kinetic. The large interior, the longer the ramp time needs to be. Okay, there is actually formula for this. The acceleration time need to proportional to the movement of interior of the load times the speed change divided by available torque above running torque. But the practical purpose, when in doubt, make the ramp longer. So next point, solution, ramp time. Step 1, increase the acceleration time parameter in the VFD. Start conservative, try 2x or 3x longer than current setting, and reduce it gradually while monitoring the peak current during startup. Step 2, if you have an S-curve ramp option, use it instead of a linear ramp. The S-curve adds smooth transition at the start and end of acceleration, reducing the current surge significantly. Step number 3, for high interior or high torque load, considering enable the VFD stall prevent during acceleration function. This automatically extend the ramp time if current exceeds a threshold without tripping. Step number 4, for load that must stop quickly, consider a braking resistor. This gives the energy somewhere to go during fast deceleration. It's preventing both overcurrent and overvoltage condition. Okay.